Hi guys, I wanted to give you a little more information about the project stuff that's coming up and being due. So if you click on in week 11, begin project, it'll take you to a drive that has all the different project slides. So this is where if you've told me who you wanted to work with, I've given you a slide and I put your names there. I know Thursday there's a group 6 that I need to enter here. Um, but what I want you to do, I'll open up number 9. And this is on the thing. I'd like you to start looking at slides 1 through 4. I'll start giving input on these today for those of you who've already filled them out. But the goal is for you guys to start talking about what the purpose is, what exactly you guys going to be looking at. I know there are groups who are planning on looking at, I don't remember what Denny's thing was. I think it was about fighters, though, like some sort of people in fights winning something. I don't know sports, so. But you can also look, if you're looking for ideas, you have 2 places to go and look for ideas. One is you could go to last semester's projects. So they're all posted there. They've been edited a bit, some of them for actual presentations, but you can look and see what different groups have done previously. You could also, as another place to go for this, is you could go back to the discussion boards because we did a discussion board back in the day on this. So you could look at discussion board, I think it was 8, and see what different people posted as possible ideas. So anyways, that's what you're going to do on your first slide is just basically say what it is that you're planning on doing. At the bottom of the slides, I've given you sort of the questions I'd like you to answer in the comments. Let me see, I need to, so you can see here, general research topic, why you're interested, and then how the results could be used. So that we're not just doing, and if it's just for fun, that's fine, you can say that too, but I'm hoping that we can do something that might be impactful. Background, I would like you to do some searches for similar studies that have been done. I definitely want links to articles or resources here. So don't just write a paragraph. I want to know where you have found this information. Data collection methods. Again, this is very similar to an old discussion board we did. Discussion board 2, I believe, was data collection IRL or something like that. So how exactly are you going to go out and get your data? So if you're a group that's looking at something like where have the people come that have won a particular event, like Denny's group is thinking about, then you're finding an existing data set, and that's perfectly fine. One thing I want to say about data sets is you do want something that is in the format that we're going to need in StatCrunch, so something that's like an Excel spreadsheet, not just summary statistics. A lot of students get confused by seeing an article that has like a mean and a standard deviation. Those are summary statistics. We need the raw data for what we're going to be doing. So if you're using an existing data set, just giving me a link so that I can see exactly what you're using, and then maybe some description of what those variables might be. If you're going to do a survey, how are you going to do that survey, and be specific. So just to point out, I saw this one today when I was going through. This student says data will be collected through survey questionnaires given to 5 groups of employed people. What do you mean by groups? Are these groups from different places of work? How many total people? Like, there's not enough information here. They go on to talk about everything else in terms of the actual questions themselves, but I don't really care about that yet. I care about how are we actually going to go question these people. So this particular data collection process needs more details as to where these 5 groups of people coming from, how many total people. The 5 groups makes me feel like it's going to be a stratified sample, but I don't necessarily see that. And I think one of the things I asked you for at the end was, I did not. Oh, this was the questions, the data collection. They did not do anything here for number 2, which was to include potential issues or limitations with this data collection method. So super important. So make sure you're answering these questions that are down here in the comments for these. So those, and then those are the 3 that are due before I'd like to have done this week. And then what I'd like you to have time to work on in class while we're in class is the actual survey itself. So once I've looked through these things and said, okay, that looks like a reasonable thing to do, started talking to you guys a little bit about your variables, I would like us to start developing our surveys and getting those done this week before the exam. So if you actually look at week 12, let me bring back this bit of stuff. If you look at week 12, you'll see the piece of the project that I'd like to have started here. Actually, I need to change this, is that I need to see your survey. So I would like to see the survey, and then I will give you approval, and you can start collecting data. So that's what you can do at number 4. And this probably is just a link to a survey, whether you created in Google Sheets to print and hand out as paper survey, or in Google Forms to do online. So probably just a link here. Don't need anything fancy. I just want to look at your questions, because a lot of times there's a bunch of stuff I need to tweak in this particular part of your project. So that's some heads up on the project. You'll also note in both week 12 and 11, I added a project overview link that takes you to a checkpoints that you can see sort of what's where. The purpose inlet review and the data collection proposal are due week 11, and you want to have those approved before you start the next checkpoint, which is your survey submission, which you need to have approved before you go collect data. And you can see how many points are associated with each piece and whether they're group or individual. So we're working together as a group to get all of our data and plan out what we're doing. And then after that, you're going to be on your own to do some data cleaning, univariate analysis, and some actual inferential statistics.